I want to start with the controversy that has now erupted after RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat made a comment saying those who are indulging in lynching are against Hindutva. Now, the opposition leaders, including or maybe led by Asaduddin Owaisi, are calling it mere lip service, saying that Mr. Bhagwat first must try and rein in the people from the larger Sangh Parivar, including the BJP, those who are not only encouraging but are making inflammatory statements against the minority community. Take a look at our top story.
लिंचिंग करने वाले ये हिंदुत्व के खिलाफ जा रहे हैं.
Big unity pitch by RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat, asserting that anyone targeting Muslims is not a Hindu, urging Muslims not to get trapped in the cycle of fear. Speaking at a book launch organized by Muslim Rashtriya Manch in Ghaziabad yesterday, Bhagwat also took on those indulging in lynching, asserting that Hindus and Muslims have the same DNA.
लिंचिंग करने वाले ये हिंदुत्व के खिलाफ जा रहे हैं. वो आतताई है. कानून के जरिए उनका निपटारा होना चाहिए, क्योंकि ऐसे केसेस बनाए भी जाते हैं. 40,000 साल पूर्व से हम भारत के सब लोगों का डीएनए, सब लोगों का निरपवाह डीएनए समान है.
But the comment made by the RSS chief didn't go down well with the opposition. Congress, BSP, SP and AIMIM trained their guns at Bhagwat. AIMIM Chief Asaduddin Owaisi claimed that violence and murder are an integral part of Godse's Hindutva ideology, even adding that such elements are shielded by the government. Congress's Digvijay Singh said that Bhagwat must teach the unity sermons to RSS followers.
मोहन भागवत जी उल्टी बात कर रहे हैं. अभी भी आगे सही है, लेकिन जो इस तरह के अपराध में सम्मिलित हों, उनके खिलाफ आपने क्या कार्रवाई की?
BSP, SP and BJP should stop spreading hate in the name of faith.
देश के जिन भी राज्यों में भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकारें चल रही हैं, वे भारतीय संविधान की उसकी सही मानवतावादी मंशा के मुताबिक चलने की बजाय ज़्यादातर आरएसएस के संकीर्ण एजेंडे पर ही चल रही हैं.
वो प्रमुख हैं संघ के, और भारतीय जनता पार्टी का शासन है केंद्र में और बहुत सारी सरकारों में, तो कम से कम ऐसे बयानों को रोकें जो उनके बयान वीर दिन रात देते रहते हैं, जिससे समाज में नफरत और समाज में अलगाव पैदा होता है. ये उनकी सबसे बड़ी जिम्मेदारी है.
However, Muslim clerics had mixed reactions. Some welcoming Bhagwat's outreach, others asked tough steps to be taken against the miscreants.
संघ के प्रमुख होने के नाते जो बड़ी जिम्मेदारी से उन्होंने बात कही है, मैं समझता हूं कि ये सबके लिए एक बड़ा संदेश है.
हमें ऐसे काम को करने की जरूरत है कि जिससे हमारा कानून का राज बने और मॉब लिंचिंग खत्म हो.
Will the Sangh's olive branch to Muslims heal the wounds of lynchings? Bureau Report, India Today.
Let me at this moment go across to our National Affairs editor, Rahul Shrivastava, who is joining us on this story. Rahul, two intriguing things on this comment which has been made by RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat. First is the timing, and what is the larger message that, Mr. Bhagwat is possibly trying to, send across with this kind of a statement?
Ankit, if you look at the occasion, the platform on which he was speaking, it was the RSS outreach platform to the minority members. Second, the theme was Hindustani first, Hindustan first. Now, what does that mean? It means basically what RSS always maintained, that the larger Indian culture and ethos, it does not mean that Muslims are outsiders. It is that basically the DNA remains the same. So he stated it. So most of these statements are something that he has said in the past. But I think in the larger context, his statement on a mob lynching and other elements have certain significance. If you have seen, Ankit, there have been a couple of incidents already where there have been attempts in terms of creating a social divide or flare-up in Uttar Pradesh between the communities, and that's a typical polarization which gets worked out before elections in UP and well in advance to UP elections. I think it's a warning shot that the RSS chief has fired, even at the cadres, that if there is any flare-up and they are found involved in it, it will not lead to a positive addition as far as the image of the BJP government in Yogi Adityanath under UP is concerned, because the government is already under fire when it comes to the COVID battle against COVID.
Yes.
And also issues like communal harmony, and which actually does not even please a large section of the majority in Uttar Pradesh.
That's right.
And perhaps that's why Mr. Mohan Bhagwat has said it. The real trouble is that will the leadership, which actually provides patronage after such flare-ups, in UP it has happened after the Muzaffarnagar riots.
Right.
We have seen in Jharkhand, one of the ministers of the BJP government in central government went out and felicitated one offender. That's
right.
the real trouble.
Thank you, Rahul, for joining us. Will this message percolate down to the grassroots BJP workers as well? Because today, when Mr. Bhagwat in fact spoke about this, there is a BJP leader in Haryana using the choices of the abuses for the minority community, and in fact saying the things that possibly we can't even put out on television right now. All right, with that, we are moving to our other big focus, the inflation, the rising prices, not only of the fuel or the gas prices, but also of other essential commodities. At this moment, the opposition in the Aam Aadmi is asking, when will the government, the Modi government, give them some relief? When will they come true on the promise that they made in 2014? Bahut hui mehengai ki maar, ab ki baar, Modi Sarkar. That's been twice over. Let's see. Shooting through the roof. From essential items to fuel, everything has become costlier for the common man. Gas cylinder saw a hike of 25.2 rupees and now costs around 834.50 rupees in Delhi and Mumbai. Sunflower oil that sold at around 117.95 rupees in April now costs over 219 rupees. Not only the sunflower oil, peanut oil is 20% costlier, palm oil is 54% costlier. Amul milk cost 58 rupees per litre earlier, now has crossed 60 rupee mark in the national capital. The commodity that has hit the common man most is the petrol and diesel prices. It has been hiked not once, not twice, but 35 times. Since May, petrol and diesel prices have seen a 10.5% rise. The hole in the common man's pocket is just getting bigger. In the national capital, for the first time ever, petrol prices are touching the 100 rupee mark.
At many places in country, the petrol prices has already touched the rupee 100 mark. Almost the rate of petrol has touched rupee 100. It is just 14 paise below the 100 mark now. It is rupees 99 rupees 86 paise. What is showing in the meter, and it has obviously impacted the budget of the common man.
On May 1st, petrol prices in the capital were at around 90.40 rupees. In a month, the prices went up to 98.81 rupees per litre. And now they stand at 99.86 rupees, just 14 paisa short of 100 rupee mark.
डेली पेट्रोल के रेट बढ़ रहे हैं, काम धाम नौकरी वोकरी वैसे नहीं है, लोगों के पास बहुत समस्या खड़ी हो रही है।
रोज रेट बढ़ रहे हैं पेट्रोल के, जिससे बहुत दिक्कत आ रही है, पेट्रोल लेने में भी दिक्कत आ रही है, काम धंधा है नहीं है इसलिए।
Delhi is not alone. Petrol prices have already crossed 100 rupee mark in 13 states and union territories. In the financial capital Mumbai, petrol prices stand at 105.3 per litre. In Hyderabad, at 103.11 per litre, 102.54 per litre in Bengaluru, and 100.11 per litre in Chennai.
जो सड़कों पहले हंगामा करते थे, पेट्रोल इतना महंगा हो गया है, गैस इतना महंगा हो गया, अब गैस 900 रुपये को पहुंच चुका है। अभी ये लोग कहाँ हैं? अभी सरकार के व्यक्ति जो चिल्लाते थे रोडों पे सड़कों पे, अब वो कहाँ हैं?
बहुत बड़ी दिक्कत है। पेट्रोल इन्होंने कहा था कि हम आएंगे तो सरकार बीजेपी आएगी तो पेट्रोल के दाम घटाएंगे, बजाय घटाने के और बढ़ा दिए। सर क्या कह सकते हैं?
The opposition across the country has been upping the ante against the government for the jump in the fuel prices.
There is an oxygen cylinder in their hand. On the other hand, there is a LPG cylinder showing that the rates have been increased now. Even senior leaders, Congress leaders are here present, and the Congress workers are demanding the reduction in VAT rates. At least they want that some relief must be given to the common people.
In Chennai, DMDK leader Vijay Kant wrote cycle to protest fuel prices that have crossed the 100 rupee mark in the city. In Kolkata, war of words erupted between the BJP and the TMC after BJP reminded TMC 42% of all taxes on fuel go to the state government. Amid political bickering, it is the common man who has to face the brunt of the fuel prices.
इतना महंगाई है मोदी की सरकार में कि सभी लोग परेशान हैं। ये पेट्रोल का एकदम महंगाई इतना बढ़ गया है कि इंसान को एकदम सर चढ़ कर बोल रहा है।
लोगों ने अपना गाड़ी जहाँ 500 फ्यूल करने के जगह में वहाँ 300 कर रहे, इतना परेशानी हो रहा है। और अभी लॉकडाउन का समय है, उन लोग को और परेशानी हो रहा है। कोरोना वायरस का समय है, ऊपर से दाम इतना ज़्यादा बढ़ गया है, इतना ज़्यादा दिक्कत हो रहा है कि हम लोग क्या बताएं।
The government attributes the rising fuel prices to the rise in price of the crude oil, which has risen sharply in 2021 in the international market. The Brent crude has risen 47.1% from $51.8 per barrel to 76.2 per barrel since the beginning of 2021. Bureau Report, India Today. So while the argument of the government is that the international crude oil prices are going up, but when the prices were even low, even at that point of time, there was no relief that was being extended or was being given to the common man here. So it's whether the prices in the international market are low or high, or the prices of the petrol and diesel in this country has just been going up. Let me very quickly, in fact, just give you a breakdown of how we reach this entire formula of what this entire money is. Now, take a look. At this point of time, and we are taking Delhi as the benchmark, 38.93 is the base price as far as the petrol is concerned. 0.36 paisa is the excise duty. 32.9 in fact, at this moment, the freight is 0.36, excise duty is 32.90, dealer commission on per litre is about 3.82 rupees. Now take a look at the VAT, which other taxes which are put on it, 22.80 rupees per litre. So that comes out to be the retail price for you when you and I go to the petrol pump, 98.81 rupees per litre. Just 19 paisa short of 100 rupees. Now, take a look at, in fact, because the argument you keep hearing is that the fight between the governments that, central government should decrease the prices, the state government should decrease the prices. Who takes the majority of the chunk as far as these taxes are concerned? As per this data, the portion of taxes levied by the centre is nearly 33.33% of the total price of petrol, while state government takes about 23% of the price charged on per litre of petrol. Very quickly coming on to diesel, because diesel is a very essential commodity. It has a cascading effect on other essential commodities as well. 41.41 rupees is the base price. Freight charges are about 0.33 paisa. Excise duty 31.80 rupees. Dealer commission 2.60. VAT is 13.04 rupees, and retail price of diesel 89.18 rupees, and I'm talking about Delhi. So very quickly, the same calculation, the 36%, it is much more than petrol. 36% is what the central government pockets of this money, while the state government, which is the government of Delhi in this case, gets about 15% as the tax as far as the petrol and diesel is concerned. Now, very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, let me go across and introduce my guest on the 6 p.m. prime face-off this evening. I am being joined by Gopal Krishna Agarwal of the Bharatiya Janata Party. We also have Dr. Shama Mohammed of the Congress, who is also with us this evening. Thank you so much to both of you for joining us here on 6 p.m. prime. I want to start with you, Gopal Krishna Agarwal. In 2014, when the BJP was, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi was in the campaign mode, the BJP every single day was protesting against the high inflation, skyrocketing price of petrol and diesel. Ab ki baar, bahut hui mehngai ki maar, ab ki baar Modi Sarkar was the mantra. What was true in 2014, how does it suddenly in 2021 becomes the contribution for nation building? If people were paying high prices at that point of time, that should also be then taken as nation building, isn't it?
Ankit ji, we have to understand that 2014 and 2021, if you want to compare, then compare the inflation rate overall. That time the inflation was almost in a double digit, around 10%. Now the inflation suddenly this time has crossed 6%, but otherwise it was hovering around 4.5 to 5.5. So the overall inflation is much lower now. So the total commodity prices and everything have to be considered. Second thing is, in 2014 there was no pandemic. The way we have seen today, where the complete supply chain has been constrained, manufacturing industries, etc., were stopped because of the first COVID wave, lockdown, etc., and various pandemic has caused severe damage in the supply side of all the commodities.
Yes.
And at the same time, there is a shortage of demand also, so the government needs to manage.
Sir, shortage of demand is there because the government is not putting the money in people's hand. What has the government done, in fact, to ensure that there is an increase in demand by putting money in people's hand? People have been losing their jobs. Shama Mohammed,
this is a different issue. Now,
hold on. No, I'm not. I'm just talking about you are giving me numbers, and of course there is an argument and merit in that.
I am comparing. You wanted 2014 and 21.
I agree, sir. But
supply side constraint and demand issues.
But the people on the ground, the middle class, the lower middle class, the laborers and everybody else on the ground, if you compare them, they are also undergoing a double whammy of COVID-19 induced depression and also the high prices.
Ankit ji, you have to compare the fiscal macroeconomic parameters also. Fiscal deficit is very high at present. It was almost crossed 9.5%. Debt of the state government and the central government is so high. If you want to recover economy, you have to work in a way and control the situation which is at present at the ground reality.
Ground reality, sir, let's not talk about the ground reality, because then you will once again go and say, look at the macro and the macro picture as far as the economy is concerned. On the ground, people are suffering under a huge burden. Shama Mohammed, the government's logic seems to be that this is an unprecedented situation, once in 100 years kind of a pandemic, which is putting the problem, a pressure on the government. Whatever they are doing is only trying to make sure that the country can function. These things can be, the high prices, the money which they are not reducing on petrol and diesel is being used for the welfare of the people.
Now, I need some time. I don't want the gentleman from the BJP to keep interrupting since he has a habit of it. A couple of things. He mentioned that this is a once-in-a-lifetime sort of thing. Now, let me tell you, what was the price of petrol oil per barrel in 2015? $50. What were we paying? 77 to 78. Now, that is ridiculous. When we deregulated in 2010, that means when the petrol prices go down, we pay less. When the petrol prices go up, we pay more. But even then, the Congress government, the UPA government, still subsidized it. And I still remember, before they came in 2014, petrol dollar per barrel was $140 per barrel, and the petrol price was 71, and the diesel price was 57, because at that point of time, the excise duty for petrol was 9.2 and for diesel was 3.2 respectively. So definitely, now what happened when they came in, the excise duty has gone up drastically. I mean, 140% to 180% is what the excise duty for both petrol and diesel have gone up. Now, let me tell you one very important thing. In 2020, before the pandemic hit, it was 19.98, the excise duty for petrol. Okay. And for diesel was 15.80. In 1 year, it has become 32.98. All right, that is petrol, and 31.83 is diesel. Right. Now, let me ask great man, he keeps saying that, the government has no money, government has so many issues. Why is then you're going ahead with the Central Vista project, 20,000 crores? Stop it. One. Number two, when we have deregulated it, people have no money. Like you said, you just mentioned, during this COVID time, the MSMEs got nothing. The hospitality sector's got nothing. There is no direct...
Shama, you've made your point. Shama, you've made your larger point. Let Gopal Krishna Agarwal respond to it.
Come out and say when people have no money...
Let Gopal Krishna Agarwal respond to it, because Gopal Krishna Agarwal, when you're talking of numbers, the reality also is, and it has only become more stark as far... Shama, you've made your point. Hold on. Shama, take a breath. Take a breath. I gave you, Shama, I gave you uninterrupted time. You've made your point. Let Gopal Krishna Agarwal also respond to that. Gopal Krishna Agarwal, if you're talking about numbers, the fact also is, sir, at this moment, this is the government data, 23 crore people have been pushed below the poverty line. The opposition has been asking, why are you at a time when people are already under so much stress? You yourself are admitting that the government is, also is under stress because of the pandemic. Why are you then going ahead with all kind of expenditures? The focus should be to give relief to the people and to battle the pandemic.
Ankit, 3 points I would briefly mention here. One thing is, government is working on a strong fiscal measures and stimulus package, particularly for the weaker sections and those sectors of the economy which are affecting employment, construction, tourism, MSME sector. Lot of support is being given to those sectors in the fiscal stimulus so that their functioning increases and the economic activity recovers.
Sir, a liter of cooking oil has gone up. Please tell me, please explain this. Don't give me the jargons. Please explain this to the common man who's paying more for everything, for petrol, for milk, for cooking oil, for vegetables, for everything. Please explain these jargons to the common man. What is the government doing so that their condition improves? The inflation rate is going up. Your savings have gone down even in the bank. How does the common man save?
No, Ankit, we have to understand that the Congress policy of subsidizing and not providing for them in the budget is not what economy runs on. Okay. We are doing a proper, transparent economic situation and handling the problem at hand. If we do not look into the economic requirement, the economic activity will be at a very bad situation, and the government is doing the right thing. Okay. That they are waiting. So you see now the economic activities is recovering. The government is announcing another 6.28 lakh crore package just now, 2-3 days back. So earlier it was 21 lakh crore.
But these announcements are translating to almost nothing on the ground. But Shama Mohammed, there is merit in the argument by the BJP that, listen, when you compare the inflation or the high cost of living that we are talking about right now, the average for UPA government between 2009 to 2014 was about 10%, and the highest peak inflation was about 12%. Government is saying we have just gone over 6% right now. Why so much hue and cry? We are still half.
So my answer to this is, you have more than 12.2 crore people have lost job. We uplifted 27 crore people out of poverty. This is not what we have said. It is what the United Nations and Oxfam has said. You yourself said 23 crore people have gone back to poverty. So what is inflation then? What are you talking about? And my question today is, what was the GDP before COVID? 3.2. What is he talking about? We are doing this, we are doing that. See, if people don't have money, I mean, I'm going and talking to common people all over India. I was there in Kerala, and they told me very clearly that they do not have money, madam, because people have lost jobs. Okay. People have no money in their hand. And I want to ask one question to Mr. Agarwal. What are you doing with the 20 lakh crore which you've collected in excise duty? Why are you not showing the white paper in Parliament? How many times have asked you, what have you done? You're not showing us.
You are not telling us it's because you're using it for your personal use. We want to know when people are suffering. You are the one who said Mengai when
that's
we were
a
in power.
very grave charge that the Congress party is making on you, Mr. Gopal Krishna Agarwal. Where is that money going? Why aren't you coming up with a white paper on this? Quickly answer that, sir. I have to wrap up this debate.
Everybody knows what is
Ankit, the issue is that the government resources have been included whatever budget is coming to them. So 35 lakh crore is the total collection. That includes whatever is coming from different sources, and the government is increasing its expenditure. Government has, in the pandemic, the requirement of fiscal relaxation of the fiscal.
But Mr. Gopal Krishna Agarwal, should the people of the country wait? Right? Are we expecting some sort of a relief as far as Uttar Pradesh elections are concerned? Because we have seen that the government reduces some money, some prices for states which are going to polls.
When the petrol price has been deregulated,
the center is also transferring money to the state government. The center is also compensating state on the GST for shortage of GST. Center is under the 15th Finance Commission transferring 42% of the central collection to the state. Why the state government not reducing the VAT?
Shama Mohammed, quickly respond to that. Why are the Congress-ruled states not reducing the taxes?
Can you tell me the answer to that, Mr. Agarwal?
Yeah, the center is compensating the states by 14% every year. Center has given them borrowing limits also. Center is compensating the GST every month.
This only creates noise. It doesn't. Neither of you have been able to put through your point. If all of us, will be speaking on each other. But the point is, the larger picture is, Mr. Gopal Krishna Agarwal, the states have been writing to you one letter after another, asking you to give them their share of the GST. The same argument you put that this is the time of the pandemic. States are not getting their share of even the GST, and the common man is still waiting. Should the common man only wait, or people of Uttar Pradesh possibly will hear some good news because Uttar Pradesh and Punjab are going into elections, because that has been at least the road that we have seen so far. If the elections are around the corner, then we see some sort of a dip or at least seizure as far as the rising fuel prices are concerned. Otherwise, it's an unending, everyday assault on the pocket of the Aam Aadmi. We are hoping that some relief, a concrete relief, is going to come through instead of these jargons and numbers being thrown at the face of the common man. Thank you so much, Shama Mohammed and Gopal Krishna Agarwal, for joining me. Quick break at this moment. On the other side, ladies and gentlemen, which should focus complete COVID fatigue, and as soon as